Hello everybody and welcome to a brand new YouTube series I will call The Road to 2200. In these videos I will analyze the games I play to become better at chess myself, and also I will go through my thought process during the games to show you how a player of a higher elo evaluates positions. So we'll split the analysis into three parts: the opening, middle game and end game, and in each section I will go through what things I should have done better and what I think went well. So not all of these games will be wins, but I want to share this journey with you. A lot of things you might relate to because you struggle with it yourselves, and I think that's going to be extremely valuable to reach a higher elo yourselves. So for your information, I started the series when I was 2000 elo and will analyze every game I play. The games are played in a 10+0 time control because I think that's what most of you like playing as well. So leave your thoughts in the comments below if you think there is something you'd like to see differently or you like seeing a lot. I'm going to dive straight into the first game. Have fun. I just played the game and I'm really happy because I managed to win the first one, which is really good. I'll show you how it all happened. It first started with the move e4, and against e4 I like playing the move e6 as black. It's the French defense and I really liked it. I played it since the start of my chess career. So I was really happy I could play it in the first game. After this, people usually play d4, which happened in the game. And right now, what black wants to do is play d5 and put some pressure on the center. So he now has to do something with this pawn, either resolve the issue by moving the pawn, by either taking, entering the exchange variation, or pushing the advanced variation. Then there is also moves to defend the pawn, which is knight to c3, the classical variation, and knight to d2 is the Tarrasch variation. In the game, he chose to play the classical, and I tend to play knight f6 here. I've also played bishop b4 at some points in my chess life, but I just don't like the danger of the position I get because it's quite dangerous for black, but also for white. Now, knight f6 is a bit more classical, and after that I usually see the move e5 or bishop to g5. Those are the main moves. But in this game, my opponent decided to play the move bishop to d3, which is a bit of a sideline because now I can just play c5, attacking the center immediately. This pawn on d4 will be quite weak. That's the whole point of the French defense. You want to attack this pawn with all your pieces. Now, after this, the opponent actually decided to take the pawn on c5, which is already a bit of an inaccuracy, but I didn't think it through immediately because I decided to take back with the bishop. But there's actually something better, which is to take this pawn, and once the knight takes, and the knight takes, the bishop takes, and now you can see there's this move queen takes d1, and then after king takes d1 we can also take back the pawn. And right now this king can't castle anymore and he's just a little bit caught. Now instead of that, I actually just took back immediately, which was a mistake, but the computer says we could have gone into that variation, but I didn't see it immediately. Now what happened next was he pushed the pawn, which was a good move from him, making my knight move to the d7 square. After that he plays knight to f3, which was not a good move because the move queen g4 actually puts pressure on this g7 pawn immediately because my bishop already moved. But in this variation he chose not to do that, which was already a mistake. I think I agree with that because I was really afraid of the move queen g4, but he didn't play it, so I was pretty happy. After that I played knight c6, attacking this pawn once again, and now he played the move bishop f4, which is still theory. There's some deviations in the beginning, but we landed in a variation that's still theory. So now I decided to play the move h6, and that's to prevent something which is kind of a trap. It's called a Greek gift sacrifice, and that happens after I castle. It's a mistake, I guess, if I castle, because right now it's possible for white to take this pawn on h7, and once I take back, he moves the knight here, and if I decide to go back, the queen comes in, and it's really dangerous right now. I hardly can stop this from happening. I would actually have to sack my queen, which is not what you want to do. Because I saw that, luckily, I didn't castle and played h6 first, making it impossible to capture this pawn. So after this, I would be able to castle. And now my opponent castled himself, and after that I castled, and this is the end of the opening. Right, so both sides have now castled, and we're going to enter the middle game right now. And the first thing my opponent decided to do, which I thought was kind of slow, was to play the move a3, which actually prepares the move b4. So I decided to do something about this move b4 to play the move a6 myself. a6 is a really good move, I think, because I prevent my opponent from ever going to the b5 square and then into the d6 square, which is defended also by the bishop through the pawn. So I would have really not liked to see that. And also because I play a6, I get to keep my bishop on this diagonal by moving it back to a7 once it's attacked by b4. So right now I think my opponent should have played b4 anyway, but he decided to go with the move queen to e2. I see why he tries to do that, because he wants to defend this pawn with one more piece, but I don't really see the big idea behind it. Right now I play b5 myself, and once I play b5, I stop this move knight a4 from happening, and after that I can move my queen to the b6 square, because if my opponent was able to go to the a4 square with his knight, he would fork my bishop and queen, and after that I would lose my bishop, which I wouldn't like. Now, after b5, he decided to play the move knight to d2. This is a really key point in the game. What he, I think, tried to do is make way for his queen to go to the king side. And at first I was pretty scared because it looked pretty dangerous, because none of my pieces are on that side of the board. So also these bishops are staring at these pawns and also the h7 square. So there is room for some sacrifices. So I had to go through a lot of variations. But after that, I thought that after queen to g4, I wouldn't be in as much trouble, because I could just move this knight over to the queen side. Also, once he moves here, he gets the tactic to take this pawn on h6. But if he went here, I would first maybe just move my king out of the way, so when he takes, I would be able to take back. What I evaluated was that it wasn't all too dangerous, and I could just develop another piece on the queen side, which was the move bishop to b7. And right now he went for the kill and played the move queen to h5, which is an inaccuracy, because I mean I like the move queen to g4 more, but queen to h5, it also threatens to sacrifice and then take back with the queen. So there is something I have to look out for. But I tried to prevent this attack with move f5, and it blocks this diagonal from the bishop, so that's one thing. But also when he takes back what he did in the game, I get to play the move knight takes f6, attacking this queen. So right now he loses a tempo, and also there's a trap in the position which he actually fell into, which gave me a winning position, which was the move queen to g6. And there's a great move for me right now. You can already see it perhaps. It's the move knight to e7. And right now this queen has to move somewhere, but both of these squares are taken by pawns, so he can't go there. Also, this square is attacked by the knight. This square is attacked by the pawn. This square is also attacked by the knight. So the only square to go to is the g3 square. And after that, I have this amazing move, knight to h5, attacking both of these pieces. And once the queen moves, I can just take this bishop because it's defended by the rook. So there was one move that the opponent could find that would also give me a winning position, but it's less winning, which is the move bishop to c7, attacking this queen while getting attacked. And right now a big combination starts, which is knight takes g3, bishop takes d8, knight takes the rook on f1, the bishop takes the knight, bishop takes the bishop, and the rook takes the knight. Right now I'm an exchange up, and I have these moves that could make my center really strong. I want to keep this pawn here, but I can move my e-pawn to e5 and perhaps e4. So I would just have a better position, and also I'm an exchange up, so that's very good for me. He decided to do something else though. He decided to move to h4 with the queen and just give up this piece, which I gladly took. Now he went on a bit of a weird path. He played the move king to h1. I think something he perhaps tried to do was free this f pawn, so he could move it forward or do something with it. But right now he also steps in the diagonal of this bishop, which prevents him from moving the g pawn a little bit. Right now what I did, I just decided to take this bishop off, which was really important for his position. And after he took back, I just went ahead and played the move knight to f5, which actually makes a queen trade available, but he really doesn't want to trade queens right now because he's down a piece, so he needs to do something like an attack. So he plays the move queen to g4. Actually, the computer thinks queen takes queen was the best move, but if he tries to make something of it, humans would actually just not trade queens because queens are more dangerous and it's just better for his position to actually try to accomplish something. Now I insisted on a queen trade by playing the move queen to h4, which was defended by the knight. So now he moved his queen back again, and now I'm just way more active. I decided now to play the move rook to e8, and this defends this pawn, which is attacked by the queen, and also makes me able to move these pawns forward eventually. After that, he played the move knight f3, attacking my queen, and I just moved back to the f6 square. And after that, he went into e5 with his knight. And right now, I decided to play the move bishop d6. And this looks like I just blunder a fork, but after I play the move bishop to d6, I attack this pawn. And once he moves to the d7 square with his knight, I have the move queen to h4. And if he takes my rook afterwards, I just checkmate him on h2. So he would have to do something. Playing g3 in that position is not good because also this bishop is lined up with this king. So he would have to play h3. So that actually happened. He went into this variation. I played queen to h4 and he played h3. And now I decided to just move to f7, attacking this knight and asking it where it has to go now. So what he should have done is just move back to e5, but I think he really made a mistake here, just not paying attention, and he played the move rook to c1. Yes, it brings this rook into the game, but I can just pick up this knight. So right now he's just 2 pieces down, which is really bad for him. And after this, it just becomes endgame technique. Now for the last part of the game, you can see he has 2 minutes and 41 seconds and I only have 43 seconds left. I was really slow in this game and I think that's one of my weak spots. I have to move faster in middle games, but as you can see now, it paid off by getting me a better position. So what happens now is I have to play really fast and I lose some of my accuracy, but I think I was still able to win it pretty convincingly. He goes to d1 with his knight. And after this, he wants to probably go to e3 and trade off this knight. And I decided to play the move e5, just making sure I push my pawns and create as much tension as possible. Now, he could have just tried to queen trade, and after that I would have a difficult time actually winning the game really fast. But he didn't decide to do that. He decided to play the move knight to e3, and after I take and take, I could play the move e4, opening my bishop's scope on this king. And he then played the move d4, which was okay, I think. But what happens now is that I open this scope for my bishop, and it gets really, really tricky for him. I now had to play the move queen to g3. I found it, and after that, it gets really dangerous. The computer only finds to move rook to f4 to actually stop the mate, but he has to sacrifice more material. What he actually played was the move king to g2. And I missed this mate in 2. There was actually a mate in 2 with queen to h2, king to f2, and then bishop to g3 checkmate, because this is covered, this and this is covered. So I didn't find it and actually tried to go to an endgame myself, which was not a good idea. I just had to go for the kill right now. I played the move rook to f8, trying to exchange some pieces. And he was very glad to do so. He took the rook, I took back, and then played the move queen to f2. And now something I've learned along the way is that I want to trade on my own terms. And this queen is actually just defended by the bishop. And if he tries to take the queen, I get an active bishop. So I just move the rook over, attacking the queen. Right now he has to take back. After that, he was also trying to flag me a little bit, so he immediately played move b4. And b4, it's just not a good move, because now I have bishop to f2 check, and I win these pawns, because he now plays the move king f1, and now I check him again, and he moves to e2, and I take this pawn. Now I just have an overwhelming advantage, but I still need to prove it in the 23 seconds I had. So after this, he played the move d1, attacking this bishop. Now I could move to f2, and all of these squares are taken. So this rook attacks this square, the pawn attacks these two squares, and this bishop attacks this square. So he has to move back to e1. It's just forced. And after that, I have to move bishop to b6, making way for my pawns to move up. Still had to do it very quickly. He plays the move g4. After that, I go e3, defending this rook and making sure I can push this pawn. Because if I would have pushed this pawn first, he could just take the rook, which was very unfortunate. So first I played the move e3, and after that he just played pawn moves because he had to move really fast. After that d4 happened, placed the move rook to d3, trying something, but after that I had to move bishop to e4. I could now attack this rook. He had just moved back to d1. I went to c2, attacking the rook again. He went to c1. Now I defended the bishop with my pawn. He moved to a1, and after that I was just able to push this pawn, and it's a beautiful checkmate. These squares are covered, he's attacked by the pawn, this square is covered by the bishop, so he has nowhere to go. Please let me know what you think about this video, if you like it, if you want to see more, and also if you like the content, subscribe to my channel. I'm just starting out, but I really could use the help, so just consider subscribing if you like it. Also leave a like on this video, and I hope to see you guys in the next road to 2200. So bye bye.